Today we're going over using templates to quickly populate the deck of your aircraft carrier. We'll be making use of Lua template files that I've created to spawn aircraft in. We can also dynamically create or delete these templates during the mission, allowing you to change the deck layout mid-mission. This enables us, for example, to have a blocked deck when the mission starts, to having an angled deck cleared and aircraft lined up on the front catapults when you return, bringing the deck to life instead of being static for the whole mission. I'll also show you how to create your own templates. This will require a little meddling in both Lua and the mission files, so I would recommend it to only those who are comfortable doing so. Let's start by going over what templates I've included. I've made a series that cover basic setups for 4, 8 and 16 aircraft spawns, along with some extras for aircraft parked on the fantail and across catapults 1 and 2. Each template is broken up into two pieces, the main clear deck variant and block decked extras. The block decked file has aircraft blocking the taxi path for landing AI aircraft. For takeoff you can use both clear deck and block deck together, however when recovering AI aircraft you need to delete the blocked deck to ensure that the AI can safely taxi to their parking spots. Each template includes the Lua files required to delete just the aircraft blocking the deck, or all the aircraft from that template. There are also some example Lua files for helping you create your own templates. With that we will set up a mission, making use of the 8 aircraft spawn template. You will need to download my template pack from the ED user files. I've provided a link in the description for you. I suggest you extract the archive into the folder of your saved games, DCS, missions, for easy access. You can use any map or existing mission for this. All we have to do is create our unit group for the carrier. We'll need to make note of its unit ID, so here we have unit ID 160. We will now create our triggers for the template, so we'll go into the trigger menu, press new, we'll name our trigger as spawn template, and we'll set the type to mission start. We do not need any conditions as the mission start is our condition. For actions we need to run a piece of script, so we'll say do script, and now we're going to type out ship and then capital ID equals, and then our ship ID, which was 160. What we've just done here is set a variable called ship ID to be the reference from which we will spawn all our template units. We'll now create the template itself by loading the script file by going to new, do script file, open. We'll navigate to our scripts. We'll use the 8 spawns template in this example. We will spawn in the clear deck variant, and then we'll do the same for the blocked deck variant. And lastly we'll add a few extra aircraft from the fantail launch script. So we'll take mass launch and we'll put in the Hornets. So now we've got 3 different templates loaded. We've got the clear decks, the block decks editions, and the Hornets on the fantail. So now what happens is the mission starts. We set our ship ID variable to 160, which is the ID of the ship we want these templates to spawn on, and then we load each template one after the other. So now if we run our mission, we should see the templates appearing on our ship. And here we can see all the aircraft are now present. You may also note that we have blocked the landing area for the aircraft, not just the taxi pathway for the aircraft coming back to land, but also the angled deck itself, so we will need to remove this before the aircraft can land. We've left space for 8 aircraft to spawn on the carrier deck, so we shall add those in quickly now. So back in the editor we will quickly set up our aircraft for taking off. We'll pick out the Hornets, and I won't bother loading them up, we'll just pick 8 of them, and we'll take off from parking hot. We'll give them 1 waypoint, and I'm going to copy and paste, so we now have 2 sets of Hornets taking off from our carrier. Now because the angled deck and the parking area were both blocked by our static objects, we need to remove those. So we'll open up our triggers, go to new, we'll take this as clear deck for landing, type once. We need a condition this time. We want to wait about 9 minutes, which is roughly how long it will take for the aircraft to get up in the air. We'll set this to be time more, than 60 times 9, which is 540. We'll go to Actions. Now we need to start running these script files to remove them. So we'll go to Do Script File, Open. We'll remove the blocking statics for AI landing. And we will do New, Script File. And now we need to remove the static aircraft that were blocking the fantail, so mass launch. Clear them. So now we've removed the aircraft that are blocking the taxi path and the aircraft on the fantail angled deck. And now we'll add in some extra aircraft, so we'll go to Do Script File, Scripts, Mass Recovery, and we will add Tomcats to Catapult 2, and we will add Hornets to Catapult 1. So now, when we are 9 minutes into the mission, we will remove the aircraft from the 8 spawns template, blocking the pathway for aircraft that land. We will remove the aircraft on the fantail that are blocking the angled deck, and we will spawn on Catapult 2 and Catapult 1 Tomcats and Hornets. So let's take a look at that running in the mission now. Occasionally when creating a mission at start, triggers and commands on the onStart command get lost or forgotten. This has been an ongoing on and off bug that keeps on reappearing in DCS, so keep it in mind. You can trigger the spawning and removing of templates however you like. You could use a time more, time less, an event happening, or you could even use the radio commands if you wished. So as we tick over to 9 minutes, we will see these static objects on the rear disappear, and the new aircraft on the catapults appear instead. With the deck rearranged, the AI aircraft can now safely land on the deck. On slower computers or in multiplayer, you may experience a small freeze or pause in your mission when you create or spawn or remove a large number of objects from the deck. For this reason, I'd recommend you choose the time carefully so that the player group is not doing anything actively at the time. This could be during the travelling to mission area or travelling back home. Avoid doing it during combat or any point where a player is expected to be doing any close formation or complicated flying. We know how to use a template, we're going to go over how to create your own template. This process is a little bit more involved. We will create our ship group, we'll set it to be USA, and we'll use the George Washington. We now need to start placing units on this ship, so I will name this as Carrier. And I'll start placing in a couple units. So we're going to put in a couple Hornets and a personnel. So now we've placed our units, we need to name them something memorable, so we'll start with our first Hornet and we'll call it Example Elevator 1, Hornet 1. And we'll call him Hornet 2 and Hornet 3. Lastly, we're going to name the technician down here as Tech 1. So now we've named our units for easy reference later. We're going to save our mission. Is save as. In this case, we're going to save inside the example folder inside the templates with the scripts. We'll call this example mission.mis and save. With that save, we're now going to reference our unit list. It helps if you list this by unit ID, just to make it easier. I suggest going ascending order. So here we've got the unit ID and the unit names, each name that correlates to the location, so it's easier for us to reference later. So this next bit requires us to start digging through the game files and creating our template. We will go over to Windows, we'll go to where we saved our mission, inside Scripts Example. You see here our mission file. We're now going to create a new Lua file. I'm just going to create a text file and rename it. So we'll go with example template.lua. You can create this however you want, using whatever program you prefer. I'm going to use brackets, but you can use Notepad or anything else. So we'll open it up. Of course it's empty. We'll now go over to our scripts and we'll use the examples for creating your own. So we'll now go to the template spawn example. We'll open that. And we can see here a piece of code for creating our own objects inside DCS. So we will copy and paste this into our new template, close the previous template. Now let's break down what this file does. So we're creating our new static object. Its name is template heli in this case, and these parameters here are what defines the unit. So we've got the livery, the type, and the unit itself. We've also got the offsets and the angles for it. Beneath that we've got a bunch of information we do not need to change. We've got the group ID, unit ID, these also increment I believe, and the location on the map, which we do not actually need, but without them present the unit will just disappear and not appear on your ship. We also have link unit, and we have the ship ID variable. This is the variable we're setting at the beginning of the mission and tells us which ship or unit we are going to offset with these commands here. So now we've got everything we need, we're just going to copy into this the information for our units from here. To get that, we're going to have to go over to our mission file itself. So we'll go back to scripts, example, and we'll open our mission file itself. .mis files are essentially just archives. We can open them with any archive program. So I'm going to use WinRAR, you could use 7-zip or whatever else you like. We're going to go over to the mission file here. You can open this with a notepad or anything else that reads text, or in the case of WinRAR you can open it directly. Inside here we've got a ton of files and information. This defines the mission, so we've got the goals, the weather, coalitions, we've got units and waypoints all stored inside here. We want to find specific units and then put them into our template. So we've got here our unit IDs list. We've got example, elevator, Hornet 1, which is unit ID of 2. So we're going to press Ctrl F and we're going to search for the unit ID. So square bracket quote, unit ID quote, square bracket close equals, and we want number 2. We'll press find. And here we have the information. So you can see just above the unit ID, we have the end of the offsets, the offset itself, the type, a Hornet, category, and the livery. This is all the information we need. We do not need anything else of this that's here. So we'll copy, and we're going to paste it over the information in our template. So now instead of creating the helicopter, we're going to create the Hornet. We should rename this. So we're going to call this example elevator 1, Hornet 1, as it was named in the file here. So now we've got our template creating one Hornet in the location that elevator 1 Hornet 1 was in. We're now going to copy and paste the entire lot. And then we'll create the next one, which was Hornet 3. And we can see Hornet 3 has the ID of 3, so we've got unit ID 2 here. We'll scroll down and we will find the next ID, or you can use Ctrl F to find it. So we have unit ID 3. Once again, copy the information, paste it over, and now we've created our second Hornet. Now all we have to do is keep on repeating this until we've copied all of our units. So we'll now create Hornet number 2. So this is unit ID number 4. Scroll down, unit ID number 4 just here, copy the details, and we will paste them in. Lastly, we've got the technician, so one more copy and paste. Technician was unit ID number 5, so we'll scroll down. Here we go, personnel, cargo tech, carrier tech even. Unit ID 5, so we'll copy this and paste it into our file. So now we've got all of our units from our template present. We're just going to rename this one to Tech 1 as per the file, and we'll save our template. So now when we load this file, it will create all the aircraft that we had in this list that we just copied over into the file. So we can close up our mission, and there's one more thing that we'll do before we go back into the editor. Now we have our template, we want a way to remove our template from the mission as well. So I'll go back to our scripts, create your own, and here we'll take the remove all objects with a specific prefix. We will copy it, go back to our example folder, paste. We'll rename this one as remove example template. It will open it up. And now we're going to change the parameters for deleting to example. So now what's happening is we're doing a search, we're going to go through all the static objects, and every one that begins with the word example in its name will be deleted. So I'll save this, we'll go back to our example template. So here you can see we've got the word example in front of everything. So when it searches, it'll see the word example and it will delete that unit. So now we've got a Lua file that will delete our template and a Lua file that will create our template. So let's go back into the mission editor. We'll create a new mission. And you can do this on any map, it doesn't really matter which one. We're going to do the Persian Gulf this time around. We'll zoom in, we'll place our carrier, USA, and we'll use the Theodore Roosevelt this time. So we've got our ship in our mission. You can see there are no units on the deck. Go to the Triggers menu, New, Mission Start. We call this Spawn Template. We will now do the script. So we need to set our variable, which is the variable our unit ID will be set to. So we need to type in ship ID equals 1. Remember, this is caps sensitive, so make sure these two letters are capital, the rest are lowercase. This now sets the variable that we're referencing to offset our units to ID 1, which if we check our carrier is indeed unit ID 1. We'll go back to our triggers. So now we've got that set. We're going to add a new one, and we will do script file. We'll load up our example template file instead. So we'll run up the example. So now we've got start of mission, set the ID to ship 1, run our template to place it on ship 1. We'll go to new, and now we're going to remove. So we'll go to name, call it remove template, set a condition, and we will use time more. We'll go with 5 seconds, so 5 seconds to the mission, this will trigger. We'll do script file, open, and we'll do the remove example template, and press OK. So now, ship ID 1 set, example template created, 5 seconds later, example template removed. So now we'll save our mission and test it. So we can see here we've got our template already on the deck. If I unpause the game, and we wait for 5 seconds to elapse, 4, 5, our template despawns. Nice and simple. So there we go, we now know how to create our templates, how to use templates. Hope you've enjoyed. Happy mission making, and take care.